It's the 29th of August and I'm Tom Glasson. Welcome to the Roast Recap. Now, being our weekly recap episode, I thought I'd take the opportunity to say thanks for watching. You know, there's a lot of cynicism on television these days, and I just want to say I really enjoy being here each night, talking to you, sharing the fun times, and I want you to know...
Get on with it, Glasson!
We'll take a look at the week that was. First up, Mark Humphries with some headlines. Because it really matters...
Turn it, Glasson!
Headlines!
ICAC, the corruption commission that ends more careers than episodes of The Apprentice,
You're fired.
has forced the resignation of a 9th New South Wales Liberal MP. I understand the 10th MP gets a free hat. Most of the allegations have to do with illegal political donations, with ICAC finding that the New South Wales Liberal Party may have collected more illegal donations than neighbourhood drug fiend Gaza.
G'day. Could you spare $1 for Pingers Without Borders?
Last year, when corruption allegations were made against New South Wales Labor MPs, Prime Minister Tony Abbott had this to say.
The New South Wales Independent Commission Against Corruption has exposed the rottenness at the heart of the New South Wales Labor Party. Mr Rudd simply can't wash his hands of this.
And now that the Corruption Commission has claimed 9 Liberal Party scalps, you can bet Mr Abbott won't be washing his hands of allegations of dodgy party donations.
Political parties need to raise money. I think this whole question of donations does need to be looked at again.
Now, I'm not saying that's washing his hands, but those hands look like they've been soaked in Dettol. A conservative Christian group has named Social Services Minister Kevin Andrews Natural Family Man of the Year. As for winner of the Unnatural Family Man of the Year, they retired that award after the death of this man. The World Congress of Families awards that title to individuals who have made outstanding contributions to promoting a greater understanding of the centrality of the natural family. In other words, the award goes to men who like women. Winner of the Natural Family Woman of the Year is Nigerian activist Teresa Okafor, a vocal supporter of that country's tough anti-gay laws, which make same-sex relationships punishable by up to 14 years in prison. You know what that woman needs? An award! Mr Andrews will open the organisation's annual conference in Melbourne this weekend, but some people, like independent New South Wales MP Alex Greenwich, say he shouldn't.
Your attendance and endorsement at the WCF conference risks embarrassing Australia's human rights record.
But according to the organisation's newsletter, Andrews and his wife Margaret have presented at World Congresses from Geneva 1999 to Sydney 2013. So you see, Alex, Australia has been embarrassed for a while now. But an award is an award, so congratulations, Mr Andrews, Mr Natural Family Man 2014.
I am what I am, I am what I am, I am what I am, I am what I am. A family man.
Farmers in Tasmania have found what they believe to be the world's woolliest sheep. What a time to be alive. The sheep, seen here in living hell, is carrying an estimated 20 kilos of fleece, or what's known in the wool industry as a shitload of UGG. For the roast, I'm Mark Humphries.
Thank you, Mark. And we've now heard that since having all of its wool shaven off, that sheep is trying to go for the world record in most piercings. Next up tonight, the Immigration Minister Scott Morrison appeared before the Human Rights Commission to talk about the issue of children in detention. It was all covered on Australia's favourite family game show where you see if you're in touch with your minister's policies, Federal Feud.
Okie dokie, team captains to the podium. Let's play Federal Feud. Now, we surveyed 100 Coalition MPs about their policies. Their top 6 answers are on the board. Now, name something that is an alternative for keeping children in detention.
Allowing children to be processed in the community and then resettled in a country other than Australia if proven to be a refugee?
Community processing. Let's see if that's on the board. Oh, that is not an option. David, alternatives to kiddies in detention?
Improving regional cooperation to reduce the operation of people smugglers?
Oh, give me improved regional cooperation. Oh, wrong again. Survey says the government's only other alternatives to locking up rugrats indefinitely on an island are... Oh, looks like another easy choice for the government there. I tell you what, if I told my kids that they could go live at a place called Christmas Island where they never had to go to school again, they'd think they'd died and gone to heaven. Yeah, of course, if you hippies had your way, that's exactly what would happen to them.
You know that putting children in detention hasn't even been proven to be a deterrent, right?
Survey says, I don't give a shit. We'll be right back. Your smiling way, sweetheart.
extraordinary how children drowning at sea led to putting children in detention. Still, I suppose it's just consistent with how when Harold Holt drowned at sea, we put all the politicians in detention to prevent it from happening again. And speaking of things not happening, a little job seemed to have fallen by the wayside while Labor was in power. Nothing too big, thankfully. It was just a cost-benefit analysis report for one of the largest infrastructure projects in Australia's history.
While we can only imagine a world where internet speeds are quicker than human thoughts, one couple from Parliament House are not content with imagination and have decided to make that dream a reality, whatever the cost. Kevin and Julia have plans to build a new, faster internet for Australia.
If we pull this off, we'll be able to keep living here.
And how much have you budgeted?
We'll spare no expense.
Do you have any idea how much it'll all cost?
It will be a revolution.
And how are you going to pay for it?
It will be a rudvolution.
If successful, this will be one of the biggest infrastructure projects in Australia's history. But Julia and Kevin have no experience building anything, and they've not yet written a cost-benefit analysis.
So, we're extending...
We're building fibre right to the premises.
Wow, that's quite the extension. What's this costing the taxpayer?
Only $43 billion.
Wow, that's quite a chunk of change. May I see your cost-benefit analysis?
Well, Kevin's decided that he wanted to do all the finances himself.
Got all the numbers in my head. Kev's on the comeback.
Yeah, Kevin's gone.
Okay, so you're years behind schedule and the budget's blown out. Have you considered scaling down this pie-in-the-sky fantasy project for something a little more within your means?
No, we're pushing on regardless, and I'm confident that in the end we'll be...
We found an asbestos pit.
Yep, still on track. I see you, Kevin!
So it's been 6 years, and the whole NBN dream has become a little like this cable, frayed and disconnected. Though not all hope is lost, aspiring project manager Malcolm has taken over the build, and although his plans are less ambitious, he does know how much they will cost. So only time will tell whether his project will succeed, or if it too is just another grand illusion.
Have you ever felt like this? When strange things happen? Are you going round the twist? We'd love to hear about it at The Roast TV or hashtag #WhoIsTheRealBronson.
Next up, after being knocked back twice by the High Court, the school chaplaincy program is back, proving itself to be as unlikable as Freddy Krueger, Jason and Fidel Castro. Jazz Twemlow joined me in the studio where I asked him if the reintroduction of the policy was going to be controversial.
Yes, but maybe Tony Abbott's just hoping that controversial policies are like the last muffin on the plate, and if you ask people a third time, eventually they'll say, oh, go on then. If he just made some minor tweaks, I'm sure things would be different.
And how can Tony Abbott tweak that muffin?
Well, just make it make sense. I mean, why go to all the effort of excluding secular people and deliberately hiring people of faith if they then cannot proselytise? So this school chaplaincy programme is deliberately hiring religious people and then paying them to behave like atheists. Weirder still, the chaplains can be of any faith. So pretty much anyone who believes something is allowed to behave like they believe in nothing, but not people who actually believe in nothing. So while the government has copped criticism for dropping a number of policies in the face of resistance from the Parliament and the public, it looks like they've finally found one group they aren't going to take any shit from. It just happens to be the High Court of Australia.
Oh, take a hint, government. They're not interested. Honestly, you're coming off a little desperate, all right? That being said, the High Court is pretty fascinating. I mean, Marbo, asylum seekers, Daryl Kerrigan. In fact, I'm going to cancel all my weekend plans and just spend the rest of it reading High Court judgments. I'm going to start at the very beginning, 1903, Dalgano and Hannah. Okay, here we... Yeah, night, guys. Yeah, you have a great weekend. I've got mine sorted. All right. Whether an appeal will lie to the High Court from a judgment of a court exercising federal jurisdiction pronounced before the passing of the Judiciary Act, quere... Wow. No. I'm going to save you for later.
the jurisdiction of the High Court is conferred by the Constitution and not by the Judiciary Act.